Hello, hi, what's up? Welcome to my car yet again. So I promised you guys that I was going to do some reading vlogs, and that's what I'm doing. Today I am starting a reread of a series that I have loved for a couple of years now. The final book comes out in October, and that series of course is Throne of Glass. So this is The Assassin's Blade. This is a novella bind up. It's like the prequels. I'm starting like rereading the whole series because I want to reread everything before the final book comes out, obviously. To catch you guys up on my reading of this series, I started reading the series in December of 2014, so I read books 1 through 3. The next summer, in summer of 2015, I read this book for the first time, and then I read 1 through 3 again, and then I read 4 because that's when 4 came out, and then I read 5 when that came out a year later, and then I waited like a year or two, and then I finally just reread 5, and then I read Tower of Dawn, and that was in like I want to say March or April. And so it is now June, and the last book, Kingdom of Ash, comes out in October, and I decided why not reread the whole series, because I'm garbage, and we got a lot of new information in Tower of Dawn, and so I kind of want to incorporate that new information into like theories and thoughts and stuff as I reread the whole rest of the series, because I feel like Sarah J. Maas left clues and I didn't notice them at the time. So all that being said, today I'm starting to reread The Assassin's Blade. I'm going to take you guys along. I haven't done reading vlogs ever, so I don't even know if I'm doing this right. Hopefully it comes out okay and you guys enjoy it. Apparently people love reading vlogs, so I'm hoping for the best here. I'm in the middle of working, so if you see me change clothes or like do weird things, like that's why. But I'm gonna read this at Panera because obviously there will be spoilers. If you haven't read the whole series, I would recommend not watching these reading vlogs. I'll try and tell you when I'm gonna spoil things, but because I've read the whole series and this is a reread, like I'm gonna spoil you. So like if you haven't read it and you don't want to be spoiled, maybe go read it and come back, or read it with me, and you know, cool, great. I'm very, very excited to see what's gonna happen in the last book, obviously, but I'm excited to see how my thoughts have changed, because I haven't read these first couple of books in like 2 or 3 years, and I know so much information. Like I don't want to spoil you for Tower of Dawn if you haven't read it, because this is not the Tower of Dawn talk, but there's so much information that you get in Tower of Dawn that I just like, I can't help but think that she was planting these seeds very early on, and so I want to know how early on we're talking. And I'm also really excited to reread this one because this is one of 2 books in the series that I haven't reread. I haven't reread this, and I haven't reread Tower of Dawn ever. I'm so excited to dive back into this one because when I read it, I just was like in love with it. It's still one of my favorite Sarah J. Maas books, even though it's just a bunch of prequel like novellas. I love it, and I'm so excited because we get to see Irene, and I just, to know what's coming for her. Like if you haven't read Tower of Dawn, Irene is like a featured character in that book, and she does so much growth, and she has so many amazing moments. I haven't reread her prequel novellas since I read Tower of Dawn, and so like I'm just like excited to get to see her again. I'm excited to see Sam, even though it's gonna be sad. We get to see Ansel, who shows up in Empire of Storms. Like I'm ready. I get so emotional about this series. Yeah, I don't really know what to do for reading vlogs, so if you have tips and tricks, leave them in the comments. But I guess I'm gonna go read and you're gonna watch me. And then I'll update you where I'm at after. I'm really hot. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Like 50 pages into The Assassin's Blade, and it has been It's like 11:45 now, so I was in there for like 2 hours. Could have done better, but I spent some time on Bookstagram because, you know, whatever. The first story is The Assassin and the Pirate Lord, and so it's all about Skulls Bay and Rolf. It's a trip because if you've read Empire, you know that Rolf comes back in Empire and we go back to Skulls Bay and it's like crazy. Like literally I was having like flashbacks and it was rough. But it's so fascinating because the first time I read it, this story was before Empire even came out, and so I was just meeting Rolf for the first time. I had no idea what was coming. I love rereading books because you get so much more insight into the world and the characters and like the plot. The best part about Sarah J Maas books is that you never know what's going on the first time, and so when you figure out how she gets from point A to point B and you can see her planting seeds for like later books, it's just like really amazing. I have one more job that I have to do and then I am hanging out at a hotel by myself. So the goal is to read more tonight. Yeah, now I'm off to work, so gotta go. Bye. It's like 100 degrees in this car. I made it to hotel, so that's fun. I look really gross and I just wanted to have like a moment of honesty with y'all because we're vlogging and like vlogging should be honest, right? I really don't want to read right now. Like I have all this downtime. It's like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, something like that. And obviously I don't have to go to bed until like 9 or 10. So like in theory, I could read a lot. I just feel not great. Today is like not a good brain day. It hasn't been a good brain day for like a couple days now. It's like I just feel like garbage today, and I just like wanted to be honest with y'all because like this morning I was like, oh my god, I read 50 pages, I'm so good, and now I'm like, I hate everything. Like I don't know where I'm going in life. Life is hard. Did you know? Fun fact. In a stunning turn of events, there was a power outage at my hotel because there was a thunderstorm, and thus the Wi-Fi went out, and I was in the middle of watching Ocean's 11 and now the Wi-Fi won't work. So maybe that was God being like, you should read a book. I'm gonna read a book. Guys, I just like freaking Irene Towers. I remember when I first read this like 3 years ago and I was just like, I love her. I love Irene. She's so great. And now I'm like rereading it, just like reliving all of Tower of Dawn, and it hurt. Like it hurts me. It's like I'm having more flashbacks, but also it's really sweet because she's like, these are my dreams and this is what I want to do, and I'm stuck here in this bar, and I know that she's gonna come out on top and she's gonna be happy and she's gonna find a man, and it's gonna be kind of tragic in some ways, but also it's gonna be great. What if Selena and Irene never meet? Because Empire Storm, spoiler, I guess, more than Tower of Dawn. But like the end of Empire, like what if they never meet? What if she never knows? She has to know. I have to have an Irene Selena meetup. We gotta lead an Aelin. I want to see Aelin and Irene. And Kale. Oh my god, I'm so emo. I hate this. I hate Sarah J Maas. Like I hate her. I hate her so much. This is kind of a Tower of Dawn spoiler because I want to talk about it for future me. There's a line in here where Selena is basically like, I'm gonna teach you how to fight, Irene, because you deserve to know how to fight. And she's like, whether you stay or you go to Antica and attend the Torre Chesme and return to save the world, that's literally what she does. Is she goes to Antica and she attends the Torre Chesme and then she leaves to save the world with Kale. I can't. I'm shook it. I can't. I'm finishing up The Assassin and the Healer because I didn't finish it last night. I literally have like a page left. There's this passage that I want to talk about in The Assassin and the Healer. Selena is talking about Irene and giving her the money, and she's like, deep in her gut was a small but insistent tug, a tug on a strand of some invisible web. So Selena decided to tug back just to see how far and wide the reverberations would go. And that's like a very small passage, but Tower of Dawn spoilers. She literally, for no reason, was like, oh, I feel this instinct that I should be nice to this person and see where it goes. Like, let's see what happens. What is the fallout of this? This is when she's 16. Now we're into Empire and Tower of Dawn when she's like, I don't know how old she is, 19, 20, something like that. And this is like 3 years later. We finally reach Tower of Dawn where Irene finally goes to the Torre and she's helping Kale. And then finally we figure out that Irene has this power that she can like heal people, like heal parasites out of people, like heal the Vogue out of you. And like there's so much talk in Tower of Dawn of like the gods interfering and the gods being like, this was like predestined, and like Irene was the center of this at the whole time, and like she and Kale do so much figuring out of stuff in that book that like obviously it's something that is like destiny. I just think it's really cool that Sarah planted the seed that she was like, oh, Selena's gonna do this nice deed just to see what'll happen. And like she did it to be nice, but also like if you know anything about like Selena and Aylin's character, she does things and she kind of expects things later on to come out of it, like not necessarily favors, but like karma, where like if you treat a person like this, then in the long run, it'll be beneficial to you and your goals and whatever. This is another one of those instances where she's like, I'm just gonna do this nice thing. And as it turns out, now in the future, like Irene is bringing all these healers with her to help like save the world. And like, I'm just so freaking emotional about Irene Towers. How long ago did Sarah plan this? It is now 6:38, and I've been done with work for like an hour and a half now, kind of. I came home and ate and showered. Home. This is a hotel room. It's still home. My Wi-Fi is still being really mean to me right now. The Wi-Fi went down and I assumed it would be fixed by today, and it works on my phone, but for some reason I still can't watch the movie I want to watch on my computer. So I was like, well, fine, I'll take this as a sign. I need to get some reading done anyways, whatever. Right now I am on chapter 2 of The Assassin in the Desert, and I'm on page 126. I'm at this library and I'm like a little bit too anxious to go inside, but also like I should just go inside so I can read in the air conditioning. I didn't read last night. I tried watching the movie I was watching on my computer on my phone, and I got like 10 minutes into it, and then I was like, this is too stressful. I can't watch a heist situation right now. So I'm gonna read now, like for real. The question is, am I gonna do it in my car awkwardly in this library? Who knows? Reading in Stick and Shake, as one does, and I'm in the middle of The Assassin in the Desert, and I had no idea, but there's a cameo from The Assassin's Blade in Tower of Dawn, and like I knew about Irene, I knew about Ansel coming back, like I knew all those people, but there is one person who like you don't know about him until you finish Tower of Dawn, but like he is in The Assassin's Blade, and now I'm just like, Sarah, How long did you know about this? Okay, here's Tower of Dawn spoilers. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's this scene in The Assassin, the Desert, where Selena is in Xanthia and she is stopping at this marketplace and she's buying things, and she ends up running into this merchant who is selling spider silk. And immediately when she was like, ooh, spider silk, I was like, hold up, we know about spiders. What's happening here? What's going on? And so, more and more as the passage went on, I was like, oh no, oh wait, I know this guy. And so the merchant is this guy who's like, he looks middle-aged, he's like in his 40s, but it turns out he's actually like 25, and he's selling spider silk because he has so much of it, and it turns out he ended up going to these mountains to find the spiders, and he basically just like offered up some of his life, and he didn't know that they were gonna take from the middle rather than the end. And so literally I was like 90% sure this was the guy from Tower of Dawn, and then he has a line where he's like, yeah, I'm getting ready to head to the southern continent, and I was like, oh my god, I know you. And this guy who shows up later in Tower of Dawn, this same guy comes across Nezrin and Sartok, and he's a shapeshifter, and he's related to Lysandra, and I just like I kind of spontaneously decided to go to the Morgan Matson event tonight.
Did you get me saying that a book about chickens is my first?
I did now.
Lifestyles of the chicken famous.
You hate chickens.
I don't hate them. Man, I just don't want to be on the same level as them, like ever.
What does that even mean?
Don't want to be anywhere close to them.
Look, so we met some fun people here at the Morgan Matson event. Katie's back there. We have Hannah and Laura and Rachel. And what are you guys most excited about for Morgan's new book?
The side characters.
Side characters.
I'm just excited to see how she fit it all in 3 days.
Yeah. I am currently on page like 180, I think, of The Assassin's Blade, and I was going to read today, and then work was like, you don't have to do this thing, so you can get out early. And now I'm home, and I think I'm gonna watch Queer Eye, because season 2 just dropped today, so that's really fun, and I love Queer Eye so much, and I'm ready to binge it all in like one day. It's 5 p.m. and I finished watching season 2 of Queer Eye. It only took me like 7 hours. I loved it. I cried. It was amazing. So it's like 8:45 and I haven't read anything today, but I'm officially sitting down. My butt is in my bed. I turned off my phone even because I'm committed. I am currently still like 170 pages into this. I'm almost halfway, apparently. So the master is talking about Ansel, and he's basically like, she's not gonna forget that you spared her life and returned her father's sword. Literally, she does it, she comes back to help in Empire, and I just am emo. It's fine. Also, I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna wait until I get to rereading Empire again, but the scene at the end where everybody comes like with the ships and they're like, I'm looking for Aelin, she's calling in a bunch of favors. Like, there's a scene where the silent assassins show up, and like when I read it the last 2 times, like I hadn't read The Assassin's Blade recently, so I think they say specific names in that, and I was like, I don't remember who these people are, but they're probably people I've read about. I don't remember. So I'm wondering, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure Elias might be one of the people who shows up, which would be great. I just cannot remember, and I feel too lazy to go look it up. There's a line at the end here The end of this story where Selena is like, for the first time in a long while, she heard the song of a northern wind calling her home and she was not afraid. First of all, I'm emotional because Aelin. And second of all, that's like literally, I think that's how this book ends. I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty sure one of the last lines is that I am Selena Sardathian and I'm not afraid. She doesn't even know the significance of that yet. Foreshadowing. Love it. And also, I am literally now just picturing Aelin in the damn coffin being like, I'm Aelin Asher from Calathinius and I am not afraid. Lysander shut up and you don't even know the noises that just came out of a mouth. I just want to point out that like the first mention of her in this series, Sarah's like a feline sort of smirk. She's a snow leopard, of course she's feline. So it's time for bed. I got to page like 247. I have to go to a wedding tomorrow, which is fun, but I'm not anticipating doing a lot of reading. There's a line where Selena, it's at the party. So Selena goes to this party with Sam, and at the party, obviously she runs into Dorian and Kale because why wouldn't she? And there's a line where she is talking to Dorian and Dorian's like, what's your name? Who are you? And she's like, I have no name. I am whoever the keepers of my fate tell me to be. Like, Sarah J. Maas, I hate her so much. Basically, this is a reference to Selena being like nameless, which is like a whole huge part of like the second half of the series. The whole thing is nameless is my price. The gods and goddesses who are in charge of this whole fiasco with the Vogue and Erewhon are saying that the only way to forge a lock to keep Erewhon at bay is with Aelin dying. And she's nameless, she has the bastard's mark. Like, I want to know how much of these little tidbits that Sarah drops are like super intentional and how much of them are just like convenience, because like that's a line where like if you don't have the backstory and you're just like reading it, you're like, oh yeah, like I'd say that. I'd be like, I don't have a name, I'm being dramatic, I'm drunk, like I'm whoever the fates tell me to be. And that's very much in Selena's character, but it's like also very applicable if you go literally. Hi, it's Monday. It's like 3:30 in the afternoon, almost 4. I just got back from seeing The Incredibles and it was incredible! I cried like maybe 4 times throughout the whole movie. There would just be moments where I was just like, oh my god, this movie, this family, I'm crying. I think I might like Incredibles 2 more than Incredibles 1, and that's saying something. So now it's like 4 o'clock and I need to finish this book. I don't think I'm gonna finish it at this round, but I'm gonna put some effort in. I'm gonna read. Apparently 45 really wants to start a new branch of military. What? In space? What? I know Thanos is out there waiting to just like snap us all away, and like I'm ready for it. Bring it on. I want to see the Avengers too, but until we see Thor, there's no reason to have a space thing. keep checking my phone because I don't want this book to end, because then it gets really depressing and sad. I'm just a ball of emotion. It's like 9:30 on, what day is it? Monday, June 18th. And I finished my reread of The Assassin's Blade. I am still really upset by this ending. It's not a great ending. It's really upsetting, actually. You don't know the things that you're missing until Tower of Dawn. Like, The Assassin's Blade and Tower of Dawn are really parallel books in a lot of ways. Tower of Dawn is something that I've realized I'm like passionate about. I love that book so much. But like a lot of the things that you notice in this book, you really don't get the payoff until you get the second half of the series. Like Tower of Dawn, a lot of the characters from the Assassin's Blade show up in Tower of Dawn and Empire Storms. There's also a lot of references to Aelin/Celaena's heritage in this book. There's the white stag that she sees at the end, which is the Lord of the North. There's a lot of commentary on the wind that blows, the cold wind from Terrazin that smells like pine. A lot of talk about fate and the gods. A thing that I did want to talk about, a minor theory that I have, I guess, for Kingdom of Ash. I have this image of a scene that could or could not happen in Kingdom of Ash where Aelin is like basically almost dead. This could either be like because she's been with Maeve for so long, or it could be like at the very end, like right when she's like actually offering up her body for the log. I don't know. I don't know. But I just feel like we're gonna have a scene kind of like in Harry Potter when Harry goes to like that weird King's Cross dimension and he sees Dumbledore, and Dumbledore's like, yeah, you're still alive. Go for it, buddy. You know, I feel like that's gonna happen. We're gonna have Sam. Oh my god, and Naemia. Wow. God, that is exactly what's gonna happen. We're gonna go to this other dimension, see Naemia and Sam, and they're gonna be like, Aelin, we love you. Go fight. Go win. Go live. There's the scene at the end where she's in the wagon and she's like basically realizing that she's going into the salt mines of Endovir, and she's like, oh no, I'm afraid they're gonna break me. This is terrible. I'm gonna survive though. I'm gonna walk through hell. I'm gonna make it out alive. And I was like, yeah, that's great. But also, right now, you are literally stuck in a coffin. Thank you for joining me on this wonderful reading vlog reread thing. So yeah, I'll be keeping this up probably throughout the summer. I don't know. I may just like breeze through them. I'm hoping I don't do that because I don't want to do that and I don't think I can do that. But don't worry, you'll get a reading vlog for all of the Throne of Glass books and maybe even Kingdom of Ash. Who knows? I love suffering. Bye guys, see you in my next video.